Welcome back to episode 253 of the Tall Boy Radio podcast. And as we always say, who knows where it goes when the beer flows? Well, we're into that time of year when we start recording our festive specials, our Morecambe and Wises. Speaking of Morecambe and Wise, here's Mr. Are you Morecambe or Wise, Gaz?
I'm definitely not Wise, so I must be Mr. Morecambe. I'll leave Mr. Wise to be our other of the Three Stooges, as they say. Evening in the world. I hope you're all well out in listener land, and looking forward to this one. It's been a while since we've just had a little bit of a shorter sort of nice sort of chill episode. Not actually quite sure what's going to happen, but no doubt there'll be left turns along the way.
Indeed. David, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. I'd like to just take a moment to apologise to some of our American listeners, if that's okay.
I think it is okay.
In our episode, in our episode, while the American election was on a few weeks ago, I think I made some comments that I probably didn't choose my words wisely, and then people heard something that I perhaps what I wasn't intending, and I was trying to merely point out that the statistics in the election show that if you're college educated, you are more likely to have voted Democrat or for Harris than for Trump. I didn't use those words, and what people heard was that if you vote Trump, you're stupid, and that certainly is not my intention. I mean, some of them clearly are, but then some stupid ones will vote for Harris as well. But it wasn't a sweeping generalization. I was merely commenting on the statistics. So I didn't mean any offense. And if you took it that way, I do apologize.
You took it that way, it's because you're stupid.
Yeah, sorry. That was one of those stupid apologies, wasn't it? Where I was apologizing for you being so stupid. I didn't mean that at all. Shall I try again?
That's the best apology I've heard in ages.
It's the only apology I've ever heard out of him.
I'm going to apologise for calling you all stupid, but you really are all stupid.
No, that is absolutely not what I'm saying. Just sorry, guys. And not just guys, just sorry.
Just sorry. We'll leave it there. He apologises for the words that he used, and let's just move on. So, on to something a bit cheerier. So with this episode, then we're going to play the percentages. We're going to go higher or lower. So with the first question, I'm looking for you to guess roughly what the percentage is, and everyone after that is higher or lower. So the first one is a nice cheery one.
What percentage of college-educated people?
Yeah. Zero.
I was going to say it can't be one. Well, it could be one, I suppose. If question number two could be zero, I suppose. But yeah, crack on, kid.
That's it. Yeah, so what percentage of American marriages end in divorce?
Nice cheery subject to start, dude.
That's it, keeping it upbeat. Merry Christmas, folks. Merry Christmas.
Right, okay. I don't know the answer, obviously. I'm thinking it's higher than in the UK. Now, it would help if I knew what the UK answer
It would help. It definitely would help.
Unless that's question number two.
No.
I'm going to say 21%.
Oh, Dave, you in agreement?
I would say, no, it's much higher than that. I would say it's probably more like 60%.
Wow. Well, if you were to take an average of the two, you'd be pretty much bang on, 42%. 42% of American marriages end in divorce.
Really?
Yeah. Okay.
That's a proper damning statistic.
It is. It's a shame. I don't suppose the UK one is vastly different, to be honest.
No, I don't know.
I think it's roughly the same. So question number two then. What percentage of same-sex marriages end in divorce where the two participants are male?
In America?
In America, yeah.
5%.
You think when you take women out of the equation?
Hey, women are root of all it. I'm joking, by the way. I'm joking.
Well, I like your thinking, Gaz. It's definitely different. It's either really low or really high. So I'm going to go for 62% or 60% again.
So you're going higher, Gaz is going lower.
I'm going low.
Gaz is right. It's lower, 28%.
Okay, that still surprised me. So you effectively saying so nearly 1 in 3, just over 1 in 4, but 1 in 3, give or take, same-sex marriages when they're male. Wow, see, that's quite high. That is, I think.
It's still high, but when the average is 42, then I guess.
Yes, I suppose. Yeah.
Yes. So what percentage? What percentage of question number 3? This is of same-sex marriages where it's 2 women end in divorce.
Lower.
Lower than a.
Yeah, I'd have gone. Yeah, I'll say slightly lower then as well. I'll go back to my 21%.
It's significantly higher. It's 72%.
No way.
72%. And that's the reason why I've included some of these statistics. I've included statistics.
So
that I
then
find quite
3/4.
shocking.
So 3/4 of same-sex marriages. So women end in divorce.
Yeah.
Budging hell.
I know. I'm starting to see a pattern here that maybe it's not all the blokes that are like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I won't say that. No,
And
people in America. We don't want to do that, do we, Dave?
Well, I was just saying, next week Adam will be apologising to all the females in America, which is more people that I had to apologise to.
No, I think more people voted for Trump than there are women. Anyway, let's move on. Let's remove this contentious issue. So, what
He's
percentage?
clearly wrong there, by the way, Dave, in that statistic.
No, what percentage?
There's got to be more women than people that voted for Trump, hasn't there?
That's what I mean. Yeah, Adam saying
That's
this
why I
way
said-
around.
No, it's a percentage of the population. It's roughly 50%, 50-50, yeah. Whereas Trump got more than 50% of the vote.
Yeah, but only 50% voted.
Yeah, but as a percentage.
As a percentage of a percentage.
As a percentage of a percentage. You can prove anything with percentages.
Yeah, but there's
That's
also
my
lies,
point.
damn lies, and statistics as well.
That's my
98% of statistics are made up on the spot. You know.
Yeah, they are. But do you know what? What percentage? What percentage of divorce?
We're still on divorce, are we?
More divorce,
okay, nice.
more divorce,
Okay.
more cheering divorce. Is caused by female infidelity. This is all marriages.
What was the number we were going higher or lower against? 28, was it?
72%.
No, 72. It's got to be low. It's got to be lower than that. Female I'm going 21%.
I'll go 40%.
15%. So it's definitely lower. Whichever way you called it is lower. Finally, last one, divorce. But you know, let's move on from divorce. As I said to my ex-wife, what percentage? I hope she doesn't listen to this podcast. I'm pretty sure she doesn't. What percentage of marriages that fail are caused by male infidelity?
It's got to be higher.
You think more? You think more men cheat?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely higher. 60.
Oh, that is 48%.
Dave?
60.
Oh, you said sorry, I didn't hear. 25%. So it is higher. It is higher. So we'll move away from divorce now. Something a little bit different then. So what percentage of mammals on this planet aren't human and aren't a mammal raised by humans or domesticated by humans? What percentage?
Huh?
What percentage of me and Gaz understood that question?
That's 0%. Yeah, absolutely.
So think about all the mammals on this planet, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what percentage of those aren't human? Yeah. So what percent, in other words,
Yeah.
what percentage of humans make up and all the mammals that we have domesticated as well? That's included in the same bracket. So we're looking for the percentage of mammals that don't fall into that category.
As species or individuals?
As a percentage. As an individual.
97%.
90% of mammals on this planet aren't human or domesticated.
Yeah.
David?
22%.
22% would be shockingly low, wouldn't it?
You'd have thought so.
It isn't. It's much, much lower than that.
What?
4%. Think about that for a second. 4% of mammals on this planet aren't human and aren't domesticated by man. So they're not the cows that we produce. They're not the dogs that we have living in our homes. That's quite shocking, isn't it? Think about that.
Are you sure that stat's right?
David Attenborough said it.
Yeah, but what else?
Just
Think
right.
about it, Gaz. I mean, what other mammals are there out there? If you
I
just
don't know
look
what a mammal is.
There's your first challenge.
well, it's not a fish. It's not an insect.
That's true.
It's not a bird.
No.
No.
So, but as Adam says, if you think of all the domesticated or farmed animals around the world, the cattle, they're all in our bracket with humans, and we're already massively overpopulated. So then
are
you're
you-
just
yeah,
left
but
with
are you talking about-
orangutans and monkeys and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. So you're talking about like
All these
Tigers,
endangered
elephants.
species.
all in, yeah. So I'm talking like shitloads of like mammals in Africa and stuff. But I suppose I might have misunderstood the question in terms of if you're saying cow, are you classing that as domestic? Like every cow has been domesticated, or are you talking about every
Well, I'm
dog
not
has been
sure
domesticated?
there are that many wild cows.
No,
I don't want to.
No, but what I'm saying is, are you classing the whole of that species as being domesticated?
No, I'm talking about the individual. So if there is out there, if there's a wild cow out there living his life, living
It's
it
a
up,
great life.
yeah, he's in part of the 4%. I'm talking about the domesticated side of it, the stuff that's bred for you to eat, or to
I
have as a
find that
pet.
shockingly low.
It is shockingly low, and it's upsettingly low for me, as someone who was a vegetarian for as long as I was. But that is quite shocking. But then you think about the orangutans and all the other mammals out there, of which we, badgers and stuff, they're challenged. They are challenged. Their existence is challenged.
I just had a quick look. Elephants, for example. I mean, how many elephants do you think there are left in the world?
There's probably only like 20,000, something stupid.
I don't even think there's that.
Probably less than that.
In the world? There's probably more than 20,000 zoos. There's about 500,000 elephants. So, when you start to think of mammals and you think lions and tigers,
yeah,
you might add hundreds of thousands each time, but you probably won't get to the population of Great Britain.
No, that's a valid point. I am thinking now with elephants, there's a lot of them, isn't there, really? Do we need that many?
Or meerkats, mammals.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Chimps.
Yeah. Chimps are a little bit endangered as well.
Giraffes.
Giraffes are mammal.
Okay. I'm starting to get a picture of what a mammal is.
I was gonna say, yeah. Well, next time you go to Chester's New, we'll open your mind. Right, then moving on. So what here we go. What's the percentage chance that you, not so much me, I think the amount I drink, it's not going to happen, are going to live to 100?
What was the last answer? 20?
4%. Is it higher or lower than 4%?
We're 51, 52. I mean, I know for younger people, there's a pretty higher chance. For us, I think we might have already kicked past that sort of magic point. I think it's.
Let's say person in general, and let's say person in general.
Person in general, higher then. I reckon it's more
Higher than
like
4%.
10.
What's the population
10,
in the UK at the moment then?
It's about
60 million.
Yeah,
60,
65
61 million. 65 million.
12%.
So 10% of that.
12%.
So 10%.
One in every 8 people make 100.
Oh no!
I'm saying-
Keir Starmer's got his work cut out for him with his pensions. If that's the
I
case.
was going to go lower because I'm just thinking if the population in the UK is 64 million, he's saying it's 10%. That means there's 6.4 million people
over 100.
over 100.
No, but
Dave, do you want to reconsider your answer?
well, the difficulty is, what's the starting point? If you were to say what percentage of like under 10s were going to live to 100, obviously there's a huge amount of people that are already in their 70s and 80s that aren't going to make it because they've grown up in the early mid 1900s. It all depends on your starting point. So your question wasn't very clear.
Well,
People are saying
it's an average of those people.
People are saying that we live in an aging population, so more people are living longer. But I take your point, Dave. I suppose that's because is it an increase in health awareness, and you look at people that maybe potentially getting up towards 100. They would have lived through the it's cool to smoke, drink, sex, drugs, rock and roll, and all that sort of thing. So
which it is.
I'm going to say it is 0.5%. No, yeah, 0.5%.
Wow, 0.5%, Dave. And you still think what one in every 2 people will make?
I'm going to stick with 12 because that's what I said.
0.03%. Yeah, 3 out of every 1,000 people make it to 100.
Yeah, and that, I say that doesn't shock me. Whereas Dave's 8.4 million people or whatever it works out to be,
Yeah.
maybe would have done.
There you go. There you go.
I'm hazarding a guess. The next question's higher, by the way.
Okay, we'll find out then. What percent? Well, look, this one is literally 50-50. Okay, it's literally 50-50. What percentage of identical twins have the same fingerprints as each other?
0.
It's either all or nothing. It's either they all do or they all don't.
It is
They
0.
can't have-
Stop thinking about it.
They can't
Yeah.
have 0. Yeah, they can't have.
No, you're right. Yeah, it's 0. It is 0, to be fair. Well done. Well done. What percentage of children?
It's definitely higher.
Yeah, it's definitely high. Yeah, are born on a Saturday.
It could be the same.
What percentage? Are born on a Saturday?
So 7 days in a week. If you divide it equally by 7, then you get one number of about 14. But
Yeah,
actually,
but
it's
more
less.
people have jiggery pokery on a Friday, Saturday night, though, surely after a couple of beers, you know
I
what I mean?
don't think it's that accurate as to when you're born, dude. I think there's a bit of leeway. It's like,
8%.
8%. So less. Dave says less people are born on a Saturday than you would expect.
Yeah, because when you get into like C-sections and inducing and all that sort of stuff, they avoid the weekend because nobody's working.
He's hit the nail on the head, the boy has. Saturday is the least popular day
Is
to
it?
be born on, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I think he's also hit the reason as to why.
Probably so, yeah. Dave, impressive knowledge there, dude.
But nonetheless, he's definitely higher than not. So what percentage of national anthems have no words?
Oh,
14%. I mean, I'm pretty sure on that.
he's gone confident.
He's-
He's gone confident.
Confident without any prior knowledge.
I'm just going through them all in my head now.
All of them, yeah. I imagine you know them all.
How far did you get?
Oh, we have.
And America has, but we pissed everybody them off, so they really don't count.
Leave
do they?
them alone, for God's sake. They've had enough.
Australia definitely has. Canada definitely has. France definitely has. Germany. Oh, I'm going to get, I don't know, 21%.
So 1 in 5 national anthems have no words.
Correct.
And Dave said, see if he remembers,
14%.
2%.
Oh, okay.
There's only 4 that don't.
Oh.
Do you know what they are? Clearly not.
Zambia.
Nope.
Vanuatu.
No, that does.
Yeah.
Very famously has very famous words if you live in Vanuatu. So I don't know them. So, Spain. So there's
Oh, okay.
San Marino, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Kosovo.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
So 4 countries,
Only 4 countries, yeah.
and that's 4%. No, 2%. You said.
Yeah. There's about 200 countries.
I was literally.
I've round-
I was trying to do the maths, and I was like,
Yeah,
hey, I'm sure your numbers are wrong there. But
I've rounded it up. Right then, what percentage of food that's available for consumption gets wasted?
oh,
Is that including wastage at home as well as supermarkets?
Yes, I believe it's
It's really high, like 35%.
not that high, but it's high.
21%.
17%, which is still high, literally. So what's that? 1 in 6 things. 1 in 6 things gets wasted. That's high.
It isn't. Do you know what blows my mind? Right.
Go
And it, like, you go to supermarkets, and there's obviously other supermarkets are available. Little Tesco, Sainsbury's, Asda, Lidl, all the supermarkets. And you get on the fruit aisle, you get on the veg aisle, and you're like, okay, so there's shitloads of fruit and there's like shitloads of veg. Every day they get like delivery, or every other day they get delivery. So you think, like, all of that pretty much. I mean, you used to work in retail, so all of that goes, and you're like, but not only does all of that goes in every supermarket outlet in every town and city, and you're like, fudge. That's like a lot of food.
It's a lot of fudge.
It is. It's a lot of. So then you're thinking, well, okay, so, and I'm not being racist or xenophobic here, but the people in Africa, they won't mind if they're eating like 1 day old, out of date bananas or apples or whatever. So just ship it over there, and I've solved the world hunger crisis.
Well, actually, we've caused the world hunger crisis.
Well, yeah,
because for us to have the option of which watermelon, which banana, which grapes we want, it factors in a degree of waste into that. There's a percentage, and that's built into the cost of it as well.
Yeah.
So a percentage of what's getting wasted is getting sold on to you as the consumer to pay for the bit that goes in the bin. So we actually kind of cause the problem.
I just find it fast. I find the whole concept of food waste, which obviously when you see the size of meat, probably is slightly shocking. But the whole concept of just food waste, and when you go down the aisles, and particularly like obviously your fresh meats and your cured and cooked meats, so like your hams and your chickens and stuff, you think like every single aisle in every single supermarket for every brand, Tesco, Sainsbury's, Asda, every other day gets wasted, and you're like, holy moly, that is a lot. And then you think, I know we're on a bit of a left-hand turn, but
that's fine.
But then you think like the logistics involved of then restocking those shelves, and in terms of the deliveries. So every one of those food outlets needs a delivery of every one of those food items every other day. Where the fudge does all the food come from? Because like that's a lot.
It is a lot. Stuff like apples. Apples will be sat in containers for 12 months, and it's preserved 12 months before you after it's been picked, before it ever gets into your baskets and into the store. And we'll look at maybe we'll do an episode next year when we look at preservatives and farming, because obviously farming is a hot topic. And actually, our guest in the last episode said he was quite happy to come on and talk about farming.
Yeah.
I forget in what context, to be fair, but
it's like tax and all that sort of and stuff.
I've just made a note actually, and I think we should get a guest on food waste. I think that's should be a fascinating topic.
Yeah. Genuinely, like every time I go in there, I think, Christ, like how much, and just while I go on about not necessarily food waste, but just quantities, and it proves in a way just how vast the oceans are. But you look at like your fresh produce from the oceans, and I know that you'll get like various like oyster farms and fish farms and stuff, and it doesn't necessarily all come out of the ocean as such. But when you go on your Spanish holiday or your Italian holiday, and you see all the fresh seafood, and you think, Christ, that's lovely. And you look at all the prawns and the octopus and everything else, and then you think all of that's come out of the ocean. That's just one hotel in one resort, and next door there's another hotel that's got the same, and next door there's another hotel that's got the same, and that's just in one resort. And then you've got the same in the next resort, and you're thinking, wow. And then it makes you realize how much we're fudging up the planet.
Oh, dude, I don't doubt it. There are solutions that we will solve on that next
Dave, that's
episode.
a good shout there. I genuinely think we need to talk about that, because that like blows my mind. That'd be a decent topic, that would.
Definitely. But it's not just waste. What percentage of all the cheese that's produced is stolen?
Stolen or stolen?
Stolen.
Okay.
Stolen as a cake.
Oh, okay, close.
Yes. So in terms of and I can tell you this from working in retail, one of the most commonly stolen items is.
There was actually a theft from a specialist cheese place, wasn't there, a few weeks ago? Like a couple of million quid's worth of cheese, like what they've been aging for like 5 or 7 years or something.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't it one of the most like expensive, like I suppose in a way a bit like wine as it ages and stuff. I'm sure it's like one of the most expensive like food stuffs or food types
per kilogram.
That is effectively you can sell on the black market or whatever.
Yeah, certainly. If you live in some of the seamier areas of Britain, you'll have had someone knocking on your door asking if you want to buy cheese and you have bacon, and it's been down a smackhead's pants. Why everybody want to buy stuff that's been down a smackhead's pants, I don't know. But some people do.
18%.
21%.
Now that's very high, folks. That's very high. 1 in 5 pieces. The price of
we haven't really thought about that.
You've not. No, you just
half a percent. 0.5.
It's 4%.
Yeah, okay,
that's still pretty high. But the real question is that higher than the amount of Elvis's singles that made number 1? What percentage of Elvis's singles reached number 1 in the charts?
Are you on
15.
about released, or are you on about like album? Are you on about like
Singles to release. So
62%?
he was successful, but that's taking the piss.
Is it really?
62%. What? 2 out of every 3 singles he released went to number
Yeah,
one.
that's not overly excessive for
I can tell
Elvis.
you for a fact it is.
You obviously got the answer there, haven't you?
15% I went for, Adam.
You're not a million miles away, pal. It's 12%. 12%. So he had 18 number one singles.
That guy needs to sort his shit out.
No, he's
1 in 10. Give or take.
15%.
1 in 8.
Yeah, give or take.
12%.
Yeah. He had 18 number ones, yeah? He released 149 singles.
Yeah.
No, you see,
Hey,
I mean, to be fair to Gaz was right. He just released too many singles. If he'd not released all the rubbish ones, Gaz would have been spot on.
correct.
Well, you say that he still made a bit of money off them. He did okay. They weren't just to get to number one. He had a degree of financial success off of the back of them.
Uh-huh.
But he also, I tell you what, he was fond of. Oh, I don't know if he ever tried.
Fond of.
Fond of.
I bet he was probably
Cheese. Again.
I bet he
cheese.
was very fond of fondue.
I imagine he was. But Jaffa cakes. What percentage of your Jaffa cake is sugar?
Ooh.
Oh, is it a cake or a biscuit?
We're going higher.
The name gives it away.
We are playing higher or lower, so we better just draw it back into that. It's definitely higher than 12%, and it's probably something like 24%.
You going higher?
30%.
50%. It's 50% sugar.
50%.
That's horrendous.
That's
Isn't it?
pretty bad, and it really well. Bloody love it.
But is it cake or a biscuit?
No, there was a big legal case, wasn't there, about this?
Yeah. And I can't remember what
It's
cake. It's something to do there, and is it? Did they go soft or hard? Is it? I
Yeah,
don't know.
it is. It's to do with it.
Whether they go stale or not.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, and that's why it differs. And the important point of calling it a cake when it is a cake rather than it being sold, or even though it's sold with biscuits, is to do with the duty that's paid on it. If I remember correctly.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
And now actually to do with whether it's a biscuit or a cake, it's
No.
just the duty on it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, what is Pepsi's share of the soft drink market in Western Europe? Pepsi Cola.
But lower than 50%, clearly.
Lower than 50%.
I'm going to go back to 12%.
5.
6.3. 6.3%.
That's close. That was all right there.
Yeah, here we go then. So it's Christmas time. Let's have a question about Christmas, eh? It was not
Yes.
Christmas time. It was still November as we're recording it. But what percentage of people will work on Christmas Day?
Is that percentage of working people that work?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
No. No, percentage of people, I believe, as opposed to a percentage of people at work.
It's a percentage of the population in the world or the UK?
The UK, as opposed to percentage of the working population.
Okay. There's probably quite a few, isn't there? It's
Mm.
probably there's got to be a good few million still working on Christmas Day.
There is millions working on Christmas Day.
So if it's say 6 million, that's about 10%. I'm going to go 12% again.
5%.
3.5%.
I was gonna say 3, and I changed it. Oh.
Yeah. Well, God bless him. God bless him. So here's a statistic which is likely higher. Likely higher. Is it higher? Likely. What was Hulk Hogan's career win percentage?
It's definitely higher than 3%.
Was it? He wrestled a lot.
He's definitely higher than 3%.
Dave?
He was the WWF before it went to E. Was that him?
Yeah, that's right. What you gonna do? Yeah.
What you gonna do, brother?
And was he for a long time? He was the guy that always won, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was the dude.
Yeah, he's in for a good time.
It's probably something like 82%.
That's high.
It's high, but it's not as high as the actual one. It's 83.8, Dave. That's frighteningly close.
Dave, seriously, that was a decent.
How many times do you suppose he wrestled then?
312.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
It's
God.
more than 312.
Yeah, like they're talking about like some of the wrestlers back in the day, like 365 days, like almost like 150 a year, 200 a year, or whatever. 1,500.
1,042 wins.
Oh,
Okay.
oh,
Yeah. 24 losses. No, 24 draws and 177
up.
losses.
That's got to be 1,500.
It's pretty much. It's about 1,300. It's about 1,300. To be fair. So, what percentage of people that have ever lived are alive today?
Oh, that's a really small number.
Oh my god!
Is it a
That's
small
like,
number?
yeah.
Don't forget we've had a pretty exponential population growth in the last 100 years. So if you work backwards from that, it might not be as tiny as you think.
It's still tiny, surely.
Do
Sure.
you know what a mammal is, guys?
Is that a cow?
I'm gonna go 12% because I don't think it's as small as you might think.
Surely not that high.
There's 6.5 billion people alive.
He's not a million miles away, but he has gone too high.
All right, 8%.
So it's certainly lower than last time.
8%.
You've also gone too high. 7%. 7% of people that have ever lived are alive right now.
That's outrageous.
That statistic, I don't know. I can't work out off the top of my head whether it'll get better or worse. Too confused.
Well, you know what? Coming back to how many people are going to live to 100, I asked ChatGPT, and it said people born today in the developed world, where the healthcare systems are a lot more advanced, it reckons about 1 in 3 across the whole world as it stands now. Between 10 and 15% of people that are born now will going to live to 100.
Stuart says hello.
3%.
Between 10 and 15% of people born now across the entire world, as an average, will live to 100. Across the developed world, where you've already got good medicine and high mortality, low mortality, 1 in 3.
Doesn't know what he's talking about, that ChatGPT guy.
Nonsense.
Crock of shit.
Yeah, well, ask your ChatGPT then, Dave. What percentage of UK residents who are old enough to drive don't hold a driving license? Don't ask it, Dave. I can see you typing. This is a question for you specifically. Well, not just specifically, it's for Gaz as well.
10%.
10%. 1 in 10 people don't drive who can.
Probably quite high, that isn't.
I mean, I know.
No, 10. I'll stick 10.
I reckon 26%.
You bastard! He's Googled it.
I asked ChatGPT like you asked me to.
Well, it's giving you a correct answer. It's exactly 26%.
So are you gonna take it back? You just slagged off ChatGPT as being rubbish, and then it's just giving you the exact right answer.
Well, I'll give you this.
It's 4.
50% correct.
1 in 4 people that are eligible to drive.
Yeah, that's shocking, isn't it? It's mad. I don't know if it includes bands. Yes, indeed. So what percentage then? What percentage? Oh, this is a dangerous one to ask with Dave on the podcast. What percentage of Americans don't believe that climate change is real? The educated or otherwise.
Oh, wow.
Higher than in the UK.
Higher than pretty much anywhere else in the planet.
25%.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to say very few words on this one. 24%.
Stuart, you can't say all of them because that'll be very disparaging to our American listeners.
Indeed, Stuart.
You obviously didn't hear Dave's apology at the start of the show.
Yeah, no, 14%. 14%. Okay. Last couple of questions, then we'll wrap it up because one of the things we like to do, one of the episodes we like to do, we have it planned in for later on, is Room 101.
Yeah, Room 101.
We've had some contentious conversations there as well. So what percentage of cats are run over each year?
Oh dear, Dave.
Not enough.
Not enough. Not nearly enough.
Can I put Trump voters in Room 101, by the way, we do that episode?
You
can put whatever you want in Room 101.
You might as well do now. You can't make it any worse.
It's incredibly small. It's like 0.01%.
Like half.
1 in 1,000.
0.01.
I mean, I googled this. Okay, so it's 4%.
No chance.
That's
Not
a
on
lot.
your life.
4 out of every...
Get the chat on, Dave.
Who's ever you've run over a cat, haven't you, in your life? Not intentionally.
I don't know, have I?
Yeah, in the Monty.
Yeah, but the cat then didn't tell its owner.
So if the cat doesn't tell its owner, did the cat actually get run over? Is that what we're going with?
Yeah.
If a tree falls down in the forest, does it make it lose?
3.57%. All UK cats are run over annually.
Do you know what that works out as? Just out of interest, 630 a day.
About 7 million. 7 million.
Yeah. Who's running over all these cats?
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Based on 7 million cats. Sorry, not 7 million cats run over.
Big street. But that's mad. You did. You hit one of the Monty. It knackered up your
Did I?
Yeah, knackered your bumper. Remember it? Made a right mess.
I remember running over a badger when I was driving Sid's Prelude.
I know. I went over.
Me, that was scary. That was because shit. I expected the badger to go over the Prelude because it's quite low at the front.
Oh yeah.
And I went over it, and I was like, "Holy moly, that was a big bang!" That was...
I went over a badger. It's a strange conversation in a Mini with Ian Bloor on the roads to Crewe. And I tell you what, like the old school Mini, I thought he was going to come through the floor. That bad boy. Yeah, shocking.
The big.
I hit a badger once as well, and Alice was she was only 2 in the back of the car. We hit it, slammed on the brakes, it's a really loud bang, and all I heard was this little 2-year-old go, "Crash!"
Nice.
It's good to know that we can laugh at badgers being run over. It's important. But no, Stuart says, "Do we need cat crossing?" No, we don't, Stuart. It's just a good way of keeping the population down. It's important. So finally, final question. What percentage of dogs run over each year?
It's got to be less than cats.
Because Dave, you want to put dogs into Room 101, didn't you?
I love dogs. I think dogs are great.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
What was the percentage for cats? 4.
Yeah,
3.4.
It's got to be less. So it's got to be because like cats are allegedly cats like independent and do all sorts of shit on their own, aren't they? Like feed themselves and piss wherever they want and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to go 0.5% of dogs.
Yeah, 1 in 1,000. 0.01.
Well, Gaz, you're pretty close. 0.4%, but it's still it's still like 80,000.
Shocking number of dogs. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's an insane amount of animals run over our roads, and I just want to know who's doing it. It must be more. It's more than one person. One person is more than responsible for a number of these mercy killings.
I've never unintentionally run over a cat or a dog.
Intentionally.
Interesting.
I've never run over one intentionally or unintentionally, just to set it down there.
You can forget that little bit of after marketing that you've added on, but we will get that put on a t-shirt. I've never unintentionally run over a cat or dog.
That's the best quote to the whole show. Yeah. I've never unintentionally run over a cat or a dog. That's brilliant.
There we go. So that's it anyway, folks. Just a bit of fun. Hopefully you've learned something. Gaz has learned what a mammal is. So.
I've also learned that Stuart doesn't really like Americans alongside Dave as well.
Yeah, that's it. The two of them. They're bandying together. God knows what they'll come up with. But I tell you what, if you're a badger, you should be worried.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that happy note.
And on that happy note, yeah. So we're back next week. We're doing a couple more fun episodes.
We'll start with 5 questions on divorce.
Yeah, that's it. No. It might even be Come At Me Bro that we have scheduled for next week, guys. I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember. I could look.
Yeah, you could look. Yeah. Come At Me Bro is always one that we always enjoy because it descends into absolute chaos. bit like this episode, I suppose. Yeah. But no, Come At Me Bro is one that we've done. I think have we done 2 or 3 now, maybe.
This will be the 4th.
This will be the 4th. Yeah, so we've done 3, and it was the brainchild of Adam, who is still convinced that it will turn out into some sort of card trading or board game or something or other. So it
just takes the right person to listen.
Or that's all it needs. That's all it needs,
and
a little bit of financial clout to get it up and running.
I have emailed the people who make Top Trumps. They're not interested. It's clear now. I've emailed them a number of times. But no, yeah. So next week we'll be doing Come At Me Bro, and we'll be doing What the Fudge, which is another one of those quizzes where hopefully you learn something.
Absolutely. Every day's a school day.
So we asked some random questions. I think this year. I should have really planned it out. It's going to be social media based. But yeah, so Stuart, I have also emailed the people who make Cards Against Humanity. Thank you for the suggestion. They're also not interested for some reason. I appreciate it. It's just clearly a bad idea, which is why it just becomes as a podcast that we trot out once a year. But nonetheless, that's where we are. So, folks, we'll bring this episode of Higher or Lower to a close. Will we do it again next year?
Hopefully so.
Chances are not. Would you like to say your goodbyes, guys?
Go on, guys, you go first.
Yeah, look, lovely little light-hearted episode, even though we joke about sort of the first few questions being about divorce. But yeah, lovely little half an hour, 40-minute episode just to fill over the Christmas period, and look forward to Come At Me Bro, one of my favourite episodes that we do, along with Room 101. So look forward to Come At Me Bro next week, and all those in listener land, we'll catch you then.
Indeed, David.
Yeah, good to just chew around complete nonsense for half an hour and come at bro. Looking forward to that. I think I was on the episode last year, but I will need a refresher on the rules.
No worries. We will do that for you. We're going to strip it back and take it back to its bare buttock need as it is in terms of what we did originally, where it will just be our participants and a weapon. We're just going to tool them up and just be done with. We overcomplicate things, and I don't think it's as much fun. It's just going to be people fighting with weapons and the fun that's going to be had from that. So, folks, we'll wish you a fond farewell. Enjoy your festivities, and if you drink too much, then God bless you. You're a Tall Boy Radio listener.